gotten used to being hand-fed by the UN for all the 14 years. So we felt like one of the things we could do was to open up a farm, not only to teach the people better farming methods, but also to help them resettle. Because what UN was doing at that time, 7 years ago, was they would give a family of 4 or 7 people, they would give them something like $100 with a few blankets, a bucket. They say, okay, put them on a truck and take them. You go resettle. But those very people, when they get there, they come right back. Because there were no homes. There were no farms. There was nothing. So we started the farm and we grew cassava. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a root. We did cassava, we did rice, we did vegetables, and that went over well. Because a lot of at one point we had something like 10 families living on the farm and farming the land. And then a couple of years after that, we got a UN grant that was, enabled us to lay our swamp, to do swamp rice production. And then we were able to plant some pineapples, 2 acres on the land. And we tried the bananas and planting, but that didn't go over so well because the bugs got into them, we didn't have pesticides. But the thing about the farm is I've discovered over the years, at first, in fact, let me back up. The farm was started through the initiative of 2 of the men who came to Liberia to start teaching the Maxwell material, purpose-driven, and others. Because when they taught in Liberia, they also went in Sierra Leone. So when they got to Sierra Leone, their war was horrible because people's limbs were chopped up. And there were huge refugee camps with people. And they decided they couldn't even feed themselves, do anything. So they decided to start this a program called One Meal. Just help us with, something so we'll be able to provide a meal a day for X number of people in these amputee camps. And then they were able to raise enough money that they used for that in Sierra Leone. And then the time came, they said, wait a minute, we didn't only come to Sierra Leone, we also came to Liberia. And one of the guys, Kevin Omonde, he called me. He said, Daniel, is there any project you have that we could spend some money on? I said, sure. He said, what is it? So I said, sure. I said, I had started the farm by faith, not knowing where the money will come from. 3 weeks earlier, I started the farm. We started brushing. We're going to start this farm. And then he calls me. He said, what is it? He said, it's a farm project. People need to go back to their home, but in order to slash and burn and prepare the farm, they have to eat. I have to provide feeding for them. He said, that's it. One meal is about feeding people. So you do me a proposal for $7,000, and I will see to it you get that money. And that's where we got the money from to really push the farm forward. And we had, 30 people on the farm working and being fed for a couple of years there. After the 7,000 got through, they sent another 11,000. And when that got through, I was able to do a proposal. I got a project from UN in the tune of 30,000. And then we were able to lay our swamp. But then we employed about 20 people who had a livelihood and who was learning how to farm. But then when the UN 6-month project got through, there was no more money. And we had to phase the farm down. And I left our 3 families to kind of keep the farm going. So, but the main thing in all of these things have been, the bottom line is, how do we sustain ourselves? People will give you to a certain extent, but you must find a way of turning over some of these investments so that tomorrow we'll be able not to look to anyone, but to be able to do missions that is self-supporting and self-sustaining. So one of the things that we wanted to do with the farm was to be able to produce. The pineapples went well. We were able to sell pineapples and help ourselves. We raised a few goats. We are able to sell a couple goats and help the farm. And then, of course, the cassava. The cassava did also well. Because what we did, we would... What is that? The cassava is a root. It's like a potato. It's a root. but it has a lot more starch. We use it for something we call fufu or dumbo. You swallow, Liberians like it a whole lot. So we ferment the cassava and fix the fufu and take it to the market. The market women will sell it and then give us our money. But then there came a point where we take it, they were not faithful enough to give the money. It seemed as I was just working for the market with me, so I said, no, none of that. So my strategy now is, in the next farming season, I'm trusting God for a machine that processes the cassava into what we call farina. It's not like the farina that you are familiar with, but it processes the cassava into bits and pieces, dry up, parch it, and then you can use it like a cereal. You put it in a bowl with some milk and sugar, and man, you can feed on that. So, and one bag of that goes for something like $40 US. Our staple food is rice. It goes for $60 US. So it's right up there with rice. So I said, I'm going to, next farming season, I'm going to plant nothing but cassava. And I'm praying God that I will get my farina machine, which costs about $1,500, and just set it there. Because if I process the 10 acres of cassava and then process cassava from the neighboring farms, I will have enough, farina, because a bag of farina is $40 US. I'll be able to sustain the farm and go beyond and then start doing our swamp rice.
Your time's up.
Thank you.